tell me how you came to the decision to start 3R Rescue?
Go ahead.
We felt there was a need for 3R because of some of the places that we had been to rescue other dogs. Many of our dogs come from very rural shelters down in the Central Valley of California, where there's no foot traffic, there's no money to support these shelters, and 80 to 90% of the dogs there are euthanized. So a high percentage of our dogs, probably over 75%, come from the kill room. We take dogs that never make it out to the adoption floor. We visit approximately 19 shelters in the Central Valley, some of which are not even buildings. They're chain link kennels in the middle of a field with a tarp over them. Many of the dogs are overcrowded in kennels that should be for 2 dogs, have 6 or more dogs. The dogs are found walking through their feces and urine, and with one bowl of food to feed 6 dogs, and some dogs hidden way to the back of the kennel where they can't even get to the food. And so this made such an impression on me that we decided to start 3R Rescue.
My name is Anna Creamy, and this is my pal, Palos. I'm a widow, and I was feeling kind of sad and lonely. And I said to myself, that's what I need. I need a dog. This little dog was due to go to be euthanized, and they saved him just for me. These little animals can't talk for themselves. They need people to talk for them. And 3R has done that very well. These dogs, when they are adopted, are easy to get acquainted with. And they're loving animals. They're not afraid of people. If they'd been abused, when we adopt them, you would never know it. It's been the best thing I ever did. I love you. Yes, I do. Now you're gonna leave hair all over the place for Linda to clean up. Yes.
The rescue part of it is very difficult. It's probably, I think, the most difficult piece. I get emails daily. We're on multiple lists where we have to look at dogs and figure out who we're going to rescue.
It is really tough going to the shelters. There's the one that we go to a lot, they kill 40 dogs a day. And I've been down there and I said, that dog looks okay. And we go to get the director and come back, and the dog's already gone to the kill room and it's too late.
A lot of rescues pick, like you say, the most adoptable ones, right? We don't necessarily do that. We'll take broken dogs. We try to look across the population and see where we have the right capabilities to help a dog, whether it's medical, emotional, training, companionship. We try to look at the big picture.
My name is Bob Rennie. I'm retired. I live here in Winters, and I saw an ad in the paper for volunteers for 3R, and I said, well, I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I can get my puppy fix and still get my daily walk in at the same time. They're very loving dogs. They know they're in a different environment here. Sometimes you can sense they know they're a different home for them. So the rescue dog's about one of the best dogs that you can adopt.
Our program is pretty comprehensive in terms of what we do for our dogs. Every dog comes in and they get a complete assessment for medical, emotional, and then our resources are made available to get them put back together, so to speak. We have a fabulous volunteer group that is composed of many students from UC Davis. These students come here and volunteer, but they also go to our training class. We have a fabulous trainer that donates her time to us, and every dog goes to training, and we work on not just basic obedience, but we work with our dogs that have problems that may have come with baggage or abuse issues or just lack of socialization as a puppy, so that when they are ready for adoption, it helps us to come up with the perfect match.
Something that's very important to Jack and Linda is their ability to connect with students. And that's both students starting from at the elementary school level all the way to veterinary students at UC Davis. One of the ingredients that I think makes us a huge success is the fact that we are run by an incredibly accomplished businesswoman and scientist. And that means that the organization is run with protocols that befitting a research facility. And that means that kids that get exposure have exposure to ways to succeed not only in school but in life. And it's really important to us that we are able to grow that perspective and that portion of our program as well.
We started here around the first year that 3R was starting up, and really we kind of just waited so that we can get the hang of things here at 3R, and then from there we invited our friends to come, and then we started reaching out to more students at UC Davis and kind of started to grow more of like the student population as volunteers here.
And then we kind of filled up our cars and brought students with us, and eventually that later turned into being more organized and actually reaching out to other student organizations.
I don't think we had one foster dog that didn't poop or pee in our house.
All of our housemates were very accepting of what we did with the rescue here, and working through dogs that would bark at them when they come home, or dogs eating their food off the table. I've had friends who sometimes joke with that dogs that have behavioral problems don't want to get better because they don't want to leave.
And they understood that these dogs that were coming through, they weren't doing it maliciously. They were just, they just didn't know how to live in a home. I feel like the obvious thing about 3R is there's dogs, but I feel like the volunteers and the owners, Jack and Linda, and you think you would get attached to the dogs here, but you really do get attached to like the human connection.
We do what's called our wagon trains. We successfully work with a couple of other out-of-state rescues, and we may pull 10 to 20 dogs at a time from one of the rural shelters, and we bring them here for their complete assessment and figure out which dogs would be suitable to go to the new rescue. We really value our partner rescues. So our private adoptions are dogs that we market locally, although we have adoptions as far as Canada, New Jersey, Maryland, and Arkansas actually. When our adopters come to visit with our dogs, we watch their behavior and their interaction with the adopters, because we want to make sure that it's a two-way street, that that dog is connecting with the adopter as much as the adopter is connecting with them.
Originally, we were looking for one dog.
Lap dog.
Because Dad is technically allergic to dogs, and we saw a picture of Holly. She actually came up from the wagon train. Linda brought her up and we got to meet her. And while we were meeting her, Comet jumped on top of his crate and said hello to us. And we decided that he could go for a walk with us too. And wouldn't you know that Daddy, who didn't really even want one dog, ended up with liking Comet and fell in love with Comet, and we got two.
I wanted to volunteer after we got Holly and Comet because it's just a fun place out here.
I don't really get along with people as well as I get along with dogs, and saving dogs is great, but I've also had to learn to deal with people because we have a lot of volunteers and adopters and everything, so it's made me deal with people a little bit more.
And you know, Jack doesn't say much, but he retired from a pretty grueling 30 years of commuting to the Bay Area in construction, and his retirement has not been anything like a traditional retirement. It's been, you know, going 200 miles an hour for the rescue, and he just gives it his all. I couldn't do it without him.
I think that many people look at 3R in terms of adoption, and if you can't adopt a dog or you can't donate your time, you can't make a difference. But in these times when we're all challenged and often we feel so helpless, here's an opportunity where you can feel like you can really make a difference. So if you've enjoyed the evening and you haven't yet opened your checkbook or handed us your credit card, I'm asking you one more time to take your pen out or take out your credit card And it doesn't matter if it's $25 or $2,500. Every single penny goes into making a huge difference in what we're capable of doing. So we thank you for being here. We hope you've enjoyed the evening and the food and the people, and you've laughed. And here's your opportunity to go home and feel like you made a difference.